I'd like to start with a phrase that should probably come with a warning label in business. That phrase is this: we've always done it this way. You ever hear that and immediately feel your blood pressure go up just a little bit? Because let's be honest, that phrase has never led to innovation, ever. Nobody in history said, we've always done it this way, and then they invented something amazing right after that. That's not how breakthroughs happen. That's how fax machines stay in business. Now, if I have a fax machine sitting right over there, I'm not going to admit it. But seriously, I get it. In this industry, experience matters. If you've been doing this 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you've seen a lot. You clean things that people shouldn't even be allowed to do to their homes. You clean things that people shouldn't be in the same room with. You've earned the right to say, we know what we're doing. But think about this. Here's the problem. Experience can quietly turn into, what's the word I'm looking for? Stubbornness. And stubbornness sounds a lot like we've always done it this way. Now let's translate what that phrase really means. It usually means this is how I learned it, or this is how we've always survived, or my personal favorite, changing sounds like a lot of work. Maybe you don't say that, but it could be something you think. Meanwhile, what about your customer? Your customers over here ordering groceries from their phone at midnight. They're tracking their pizza in real time, and they're getting annoyed if Amazon takes actually the 2 days that they promise. And then they call your company, and maybe you answer, maybe you don't. Perhaps your message is, yeah, we'll get back to you sometime between now and next Thursday. And that's where the gap is. Not in your quality because you're an excellent cleaner or an excellent restorer, not in your equipment because you buy the very best, and it's not in your experience because you have that. You have the experience. Let's look at a real example. One company says, call us during business hours. Another company says, book online anytime. We'll confirm instantly and we'll text you updates. The same cleaning, the same results. But one feels like 1998 and the other feels like 2026. Well, guess who wins? Well, here's a hint. It's not the one asking you to leave a voicemail and that we'll get back to you. Here's the sneaky part. You don't lose customers in a dramatic way. Nobody calls you and says, hey, just wanted to let you know I didn't hire you because your process feels outdated. No, what happens is they just disappear. They ghost you like a bad date. And then you're left thinking, we're doing everything right, and maybe you are, but not in the way that matches today's expectations. Your customers like to do business a certain way now. The old ways may not work. And I'm not saying throw everything out. Some of the old ways are the right ways, but here's the difference. The best companies don't protect their habits. The best companies question them. So here's a simple test. Pick one thing in your business, just one, and ask, if I were going to start my company today, would I do it this way? Wow, that's a powerful question. Let's repeat that. Pick one thing in your business, one process, one operation, and ask, if I were going to start my company today, would I do it this way? If the answer is no, you get some congratulations because you just found your next upgrade. And this is because growth doesn't come from doing more of the same. It comes from being just uncomfortable enough to try something better. So the next time you hear, we've always done it this way, just remember that might be true, but it also might be the reason you're not growing. And if nothing else, at least promise me this. If you're still using a fax machine, let's talk about that later.